When it comes to creating that deep craving in a man, the first and most powerful piece of the puzzle is mystery. Mystery doesn't mean being secretive in a cold or manipulative way. It means not handing over every piece of yourself right away, not giving someone the entire map in one sitting, but instead revealing yourself slowly in layers. Think about the times you've gotten hooked on a TV series. You don't get all the answers in episode 1. You get just enough to keep you curious, to make you want to press play on the next one. That's how craving works in relationships too. It's the curiosity, the intrigue, the feeling that there's more to uncover. When a man feels that with you, you become unforgettable. The problem is that many people confuse openness with overexposure. They think being real means spilling every detail about their past, their feelings, or their life within the first few conversations. While honesty is important, desire is built when there's a sense of discovery. If he already feels like he's read the entire book in the first sitting, where's the motivation to keep turning the pages? What keeps him coming back is the idea that there's always something else to learn, always another side to see. That sense of what's next is where his craving starts to live. You don't need to play games to create mystery. It's not about withholding love or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about pacing. Think about your own energy as a gift. When you reveal pieces of yourself gradually, it allows him to savor those moments. The first time he sees your playful side, it makes him laugh. Later, when he discovers your deeper, more thoughtful side, it makes him pause. Each new layer is like a new flavor he didn't expect, and that's what makes him crave more. If he gets every side of you all at once, he may feel full too quickly. But when you pace it, he never gets tired of discovering you. Mystery also creates space for him to invest. People value what they work for, what they lean into, and what they put energy into exploring. If you're always the one putting everything on the table, you're doing all the work for him. But when you hold back just enough for him to wonder, for him to ask questions, for him to lean closer to find out more, that's when you awaken his curiosity. And curiosity is the seed of desire. Now think about the people in your life who you find endlessly fascinating. Chances are, it's not because they told you everything about themselves the moment you met. It's because they revealed themselves slowly. Through time, through different contexts. Maybe you saw them in one setting and they were playful and fun. Later you saw them in another and they showed a thoughtful, serious side. The contrast made you pay attention. The gaps between what you knew and what you didn't know kept you intrigued. You wanted to know more. That same principle works in attraction. So when you're connecting with a man, instead of thinking, how do I get him to like me right now? Shift the question to, how do I leave him curious for more? Because that's what makes him come back. That's what makes him think about you when you're not there. Mystery creates mental space, and in that space, craving is born. If he feels like he has already unlocked every part of you, there's nothing left to reach for. But if he feels there are always new sides of you waiting to be discovered, he'll never stop craving that next chapter. When people talk about attraction, most immediately jump to the physical side. They think it's about looks, chemistry, or how much you can grab someone's attention with appearance. And yes, that might spark interest for a moment. But if you want a man to truly crave you, if you want him to feel a pull toward you that he can't quite explain, you need to understand that real craving doesn't live in the physical. It lives in the emotional. Physical attraction is like a match. It lights up quickly, burns bright, but fizzles out just as fast. Emotional attraction, though, is like a fire in a fireplace. It doesn't just catch. It sustains, it warms, it lingers, and it makes him want to stay close. Think about the people in your own life who you're drawn to. Chances are it's not just because they look good, it's because of how they make you feel. They spark something in you. Maybe they make you laugh when you weren't expecting to. Maybe they make you feel safe in a world that feels chaotic. or maybe they challenge you in ways that push you to grow. That emotional spark is magnetic. It's what makes someone unforgettable even if they walk into a room full of people who are just as attractive as them. For a man, the same principle applies. He may notice beauty everywhere, but craving is reserved for the person who stirs his emotions. When you can ignite his curiosity, inspire him, make him laugh, or even make him reflect on something deeper, you're not just someone who caught his eye. You're someone who stays in his mind long after you've left. That's the kind of connection he doesn't just want, it's the kind he needs. This is why being yourself unapologetically is powerful. When you share parts of your personality that light up different emotional states, you become multi-dimensional in his eyes. Show him your playful side, the one that teases and laughs easily. Then show him the part of you that listens deeply when he talks about something that matters. That contrast is what creates the emotional roller coaster that makes him crave more. He never feels stuck in one state with you. Instead, he feels alive, engaged, and constantly surprised. And here's the truth: many people think that to awaken desire, they need to perform, to impress, to constantly put on a show. But the reality is, it's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about creating moments where he feels something because of you. When you bring genuine energy to a conversation, when you speak with passion about something you love, when you allow yourself to be silly or vulnerable, he connects with the real you. That authenticity is what hits him emotionally, not a polished act designed to win approval. Emotional attraction is also about how you make him feel about himself. When you're around him, does he feel more alive, more capable, more interesting? Not because you're constantly complimenting him or inflating his ego, but because you create a space where he feels valued and seen. People naturally crave those who awaken the best in them. When he associates you with feelings of joy, passion, or depth, he doesn't just want to be around you, he feels pulled toward you. So instead of thinking, how do I look good enough to keep his interest? The better question is, how can I make him feel something when he's with me? Looks may spark a moment, but feelings create a craving. That's what lingers in his memory. What keeps him reaching for his phone? What makes him wonder when he'll see you next? Emotional spark is the bridge between attention and lasting desire. Without it, attraction fades. With it, attraction deepens into craving. One of the biggest secrets to awakening craving is understanding the power of contrast. Human beings are wired to be fascinated by differences. It's why we love stories with ups and downs. It's why music feels alive with highs and lows. And it's why the people who captivate us most are never one-dimensional. When a man experiences different sides of you, it creates a dynamic energy that keeps him engaged. He doesn't just see you as predictable or flat, he sees you as layered, full of surprises, someone he could spend years with and still not fully uncover. That's what contrast does. It makes you magnetic. Think about it. If you were only ever playful and light-hearted, that might be fun at first, but eventually it would feel shallow. If you were only ever deep and serious, that might feel meaningful, but after a while it could feel heavy. What makes someone irresistible is the ability to show both. You can laugh at silly jokes one moment and then share a meaningful insight the next. You can be confident in your standards and still open enough to be vulnerable. It's this back and forth, this dance of opposites, that keeps him on his toes and makes him want to stay close. Contrast is powerful because it challenges expectations. When he thinks he's figured you out, you show him a new layer. When he expects you to react in one way, you surprise him by showing another side. That unpredictability awakens his pursuit instinct because he never feels like he can take you for granted. He realizes that there's always more to discover, and that realization builds desire. But contrast doesn't mean being inconsistent or putting on an act. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about embracing the full spectrum of who you are. Too many people try to fit themselves into one box, always the strong one. always the easygoing one, always the nurturer, always the independent one. But real attraction comes when you allow yourself to show all the parts of you, even the ones that seem opposite. You can be strong and soft, you can be nurturing and ambitious, you can be independent and still deeply loving. It's the combination that makes you stand out. Think of someone who fascinates you. Chances are it's because they don't just stay in one emotional lane. They surprise you. They show depth when you least expect it, or they lighten the mood when things feel heavy. That contrast keeps you leaning in. In relationships, when a man feels that same variety of experience with you, he doesn't just want to be around you, he craves it. Because you're not only giving him fun or only giving him depth, you're giving him a full spectrum of life. The truth is, desire fades when things become too predictable. If every interaction follows the same rhythm, it starts to feel routine. Contrast is what prevents that. When you can be playful in one moment and thoughtful in another, when you can show him your confidence and still allow moments of openness, you create a rhythm that keeps him hooked. He can't quite pin you down, and that's exactly what makes him want more. So instead of thinking you have to always be the funny one or the deep one, allow yourself to embrace all of your layers. Show him that you can laugh at yourself, but also speak with passion about what matters. Show him that you're strong enough to walk away if something doesn't serve you, but open enough to let someone in when it feels right. That's the kind of contrast that awakens craving. It's not about being perfect in one lane, it's about being real in many. And when he feels the richness of that spectrum, he'll realize he doesn't just want you for a moment, he'll crave you for the long run. One of the most overlooked parts of creating real desire is understanding the difference between value and validation. Too often, people chase the feeling of being wanted by constantly seeking reassurance. They wait for his text to feel good. They hang on his compliments to feel worthy. They look for signs that he approves before they can relax. But here's the truth. Craving is never born out of neediness. Craving comes when you show value first, when you live with purpose, with passion, with standards that don't bend just because you want someone's attention. A man doesn't crave the person who is desperate for his validation. He craves the person who doesn't need him to feel complete, but still chooses him anyway. Think about it this way. If someone is always chasing you, always seeking your approval, how do you feel? Flattered for a moment maybe, but then it gets predictable, even dull. There's no challenge, no respect, no space to wonder if you've really earned their attention. But when someone values themselves first, when they walk into a room with a sense of self-worth that's not dependent on anyone else, you notice them. You pay attention. You want to earn their time. That's the same energy you awaken in a man when you prioritize your value over his validation. Value shows up in how you live. It's in your passions, your goals, the things that light you up outside of him. It's in the standards you hold for how you allow people to treat you. It's in the confidence you have to say no when something doesn't align with you, even if it risks disappointing him. When he sees that you're not molding yourself just to keep him happy, he realizes he's dealing with someone different, someone he has to rise up to meet. That realization doesn't push him away, it pulls him closer, because people instinctively crave what they respect. On the other hand, validation seeking drains attraction. If every move you make is about winning his approval, agreeing with everything he says, laughing at things you don't find funny, tolerating behavior you don't actually like, he may feel powerful in the short term, but he won't feel desire. Desire is born when he feels he's with someone who has her own gravity, her own orbit, her own life that's already meaningful with or without him. When you carry that energy, he doesn't feel like he's your whole world. He feels like he's lucky to be invited into yours. The beauty of focusing on value is that it naturally changes the dynamic. You stop overthinking what he thinks about you, and instead, you focus on how you feel around him. You stop asking, does he like me? And start asking, do I enjoy who I am when I'm with him? That shift changes everything because it puts you in the driver's seat. You're no longer waiting for scraps of attention to feel validated. You're choosing who gets access to your energy. That kind of self-respect radiates, and it's deeply attractive. Craving grows when he knows he can't take you for granted. If he senses that you'll stay no matter how little effort he puts in, the urgency to pursue fades. But if he knows your standards are high, that your time is precious, that your love is something to be earned, he doesn't relax into complacency. He steps up. Because he understands that he's not just dealing with someone who needs him to feel whole, he's dealing with someone who is already whole, and that's rare. So the next time you find yourself leaning into validation, pause and remember this: he's not craving you when you're chasing him. He craves you when you stand tall in your own value, when you show him through your actions that you're not waiting for him to define your worth. That's what keeps him pursuing, that's what keeps him investing, and that's what makes his craving for you something that doesn't fade but grows stronger with time. One of the most powerful ways to awaken craving is through the unexpected. Predictability is a desire killer. When someone knows exactly how you're going to respond, what you'll say, and how you'll act, the excitement begins to fade. But when you introduce the unexpected, whether it's a playful remark, a spontaneous plan, or showing a new side of yourself, you keep him intrigued, on edge in a good way, and constantly wanting to see what comes next. The unexpected doesn't mean being manipulative or confusing. It means being dynamic, alive, and fully yourself in ways that surprise him. Think about people who fascinate you in life. They're not the ones who are predictable in every situation. They're the ones who can make you laugh when you least expect it, who challenge your thinking, who take you somewhere new without warning. That element of surprise creates a thrill, and when a man experiences that with you, he begins to crave it. He starts to associate you with excitement, unpredictability, and a sense that life is richer when you're around. That craving isn't just about wanting to see you, it's about wanting the energy and emotion you bring into his world. The unexpected also demonstrates depth. When a man expects you to always act or react a certain way, he only knows one layer of you. But when you reveal sides of yourself he hasn't seen before, your passions, your humor, your intellect, your creativity, it keeps him exploring. He begins to realize that you're not someone he can fully figure out in a single conversation or a single date. That realization builds desire because humans naturally want what feels just out of reach, what feels like it needs a little effort to understand. The more layers you reveal over time, the more invested he becomes in uncovering them. It's also about timing. The unexpected isn't about doing random things all the time, it's about creating contrast to the ordinary. If every interaction is full of surprises, it can actually feel chaotic. But when you intersperse the expected with the unexpected, you create a rhythm that keeps him engaged. Maybe most of the time you're playful and light-hearted, but then suddenly you share a thoughtful insight that shows him a deeper side. Or perhaps he thinks he knows how you'll react to a plan, and you pleasantly surprise him with a bold choice he didn't anticipate. Those moments create spikes of emotion, and emotion is what fuels craving. Being unexpected also communicates confidence and independence. When you act from a place of authenticity rather than trying to predict or please him, you show that your life is rich and full outside of him. That kind of energy is magnetic. Men are drawn to women who are alive in their own right, who can act spontaneously because they're fully present, not because they're trying to control how someone perceives them. That spontaneity, that sense of adventure, keeps him coming back because he senses that life with you is anything but dull. Finally, the unexpected allows for playfulness, which is a powerful tool in desire. Humor, wit, and cleverness can catch someone off guard in the best way. A playful tease, a surprising compliment, or a shared moment that no one else would anticipate can spark delight and longing. That spark isn't just fleeting, it lingers in his mind because it's associated with a feeling he wants to experience again and again. So, to awaken craving, remember that the ordinary will only take you so far. Desire thrives on unpredictability, on moments that keep him guessing, on the sense that life with you is full of surprises. When he experiences this with you, he isn't just interested, he's captivated. He begins to anticipate, to wonder, to think about you when you're not around, because your presence brings energy and excitement that he can't get anywhere else. The unexpected is the key that transforms mere attraction into deep, irresistible craving. One of the most underestimated tools in creating craving is the power of space. Many people think that desire grows by constant closeness, by texting all day, seeing each other every moment, and always being available. But the truth is, desire doesn't live in overexposure, it lives in absence. Space allows a man to reflect on you, to notice what he misses when you're not there, and to experience the pull of longing. It's in that space, in that mental and emotional distance, that craving simmers and grows. When you allow a man to have some distance, you're not being cold or distant in a negative sense. You're giving him the opportunity to feel your presence in his mind, rather than just in front of his eyes. Think about it. If someone is always around, we often stop appreciating the little things about them because we take their presence for granted. But when there's space, he starts to notice your energy, your humor, your warmth. He begins to anticipate your next interaction because absence creates value. It's not about playing games, it's about creating a natural rhythm where he has room to desire, to wonder, and to reflect on the connection you share. Craving also grows when he has to invest mentally and emotionally. If you're constantly available, he can coast without much effort. But when you live your life fully, pursue your passions, spend time with your friends, and maintain your own schedule, you signal that your time is precious. That doesn't mean you ignore him. It means you prioritize your life in a way that demonstrates self-respect. A man naturally craves someone who has a rich life of their own, someone whose presence is valuable because it's not taken for granted. That balance of closeness and space is magnetic. Space also allows emotional processing. When a man has the chance to reflect on interactions, he begins to internalize your impact. He remembers the moments that made him laugh, the things you said that made him think, the subtle ways you showed interest or playfulness. That reflection builds anticipation for the next time he sees you. It's like letting a delicious flavor linger on the tongue. He can't wait for the next bite because he's still savoring the first. Craving is fueled not only by what happens in the moment, but by the time he spends thinking about it afterward. Another aspect of space is that it creates respect. When you're not always immediately available, it communicates boundaries and self-worth. It shows that your life isn't defined by him and that your happiness doesn't depend on his presence. That kind of energy naturally awakens desire because people are drawn to confidence and independence. A man feels the pull of wanting to be part of someone's life who already has her own life flourishing. He begins to value moments with you more because he knows they are earned and not automatic. Space also allows the anticipation to build in a natural way. When you don't rush to fill every silence, when you don't overwhelm with constant messages or attention, you give him room to feel curiosity and longing. That anticipation is the fuel of desire. The more he imagines you, thinks about you, and wonders what you're doing, the stronger the craving becomes. Closeness without space can actually dilute attraction, while well-balanced space enhances it exponentially. So if you want to awaken craving, remember that it's not about being everywhere at once. It's about creating presence and absence in harmony. By living your life fully, respecting your own time, and allowing him to reflect and anticipate, you cultivate a desire that is deep and lasting. Space is not emptiness, it's a magnet. It's the tension between seeing you and missing you that makes a man think about you constantly, that makes him want more, and that transforms fleeting attraction into a craving that doesn't fade. Your desire is strongest when he feels it in your presence, but it is cemented in your absence.